Half-Blood Prince. I really enjoyed getting a chance to sink my teeth more into the character and get a chance to show his vulnerable side and his weak side. And abso-fudging-lutely yes is the second answer.
But it's not cheap.
Thank you, Aaron. All right, where did Rusty go? Back there.
Same area, yes. I've got Madison from Daytona that has a question for the panel.
Hi. So recently we've had like The Cursed Child come out and The Fantastic Beasts and the announcement that that's going to be a series. And obviously Joe is a fantastic writer, and I just wanted to know how y'all feel about the continuation of the universe.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fantastic that Joe continues to expand the Wizarding World and allow us to see different glimpses of that, you know, with Fantastic Beasts going further back in time than we ever have before within the Wizarding World, The Cursed Child taking us further forward in time, and I think they're all fantastic, very legitimate ways of expanding all of this, and yeah, I think they're fabulous, and if you haven't managed to see The Cursed Child at all, I do recommend it. It's a fabulous piece of theatre. Even if you don't like Harry Potter, it's a wonderful example of live theatre and a truly magical experience. And I don't say that lightly. It is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I think it's fabulous. And let's hope she allows us more glimpses into the Wizarding World in other ways as well.
I think she's a really important writer, and there's a bit of sleight of hand. Those of you who know magic know that magic's about misdirection. And although these are stories about fantastic beasts and magical worlds, she's actually got an awful lot that's incredibly important to say about the world we live in. And increasingly in the world where you can't believe what comes out of authority figures, or the news, or politicians, maybe... I don't mean to be making a cheap political point. I genuinely mean that when you're not sure who to believe, when the people you previously used to trust talk to you, sometimes it's the fiction writers that are the people who are telling stories that make us think about the world we live in. And because she's no longer bound to Hogwarts and she can tell stories about the bigger world, we should watch very carefully, A, because she's amazingly entertaining, but B, because she's got home truths to tell us about who we are and the choices we make.
Absolutely. How's it going, Brian?
Hey, how's it going?
Who do you have back there?
I have Caitlin from Gainesville, and she's got a question for Warg.
So, since you actually got to play two different characters in the films, I was wondering which one you preferred playing and why.
Okay, I think for me, Griphook was a lot of fun because it's fun to play a villainous character. The more distant from your own personality character is, the more enjoyable it is to play, I believe. And that was a really fully immersive character for me because the makeup that I wore was a 4.5-hour application. So I would sit in the chair from about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes I'd fall asleep and wake up looking totally different, which is a weird experience. But walking on the set in that makeup was a really a very powerful experience because nobody really knew who I was. It was, yeah, just a lot of fun to play that character, and you know, you should never trust a goblin, and that's very true when it comes to Griphook. And I love the journey he had through the story, and also, you know, for me, playing two characters was very interesting because I wanted to make sure that nobody in the audience would be able to identify that it was the same actor. So I had to think about everything, not only the way that I sounded. The way that I looked was taken care of by Nick Dudman and his amazing makeup effects team, but I had to make sure that I stood differently, that I moved differently, I walked differently, so that nothing would be identifiable between the two characters. The only thing we had in common was the fact that they were the same height, basically, but that was it. But yeah.